Hi guys, Generation Defenders here, and welcome to my first podcast. Originally I wanted to do this with Too Fast Joe, but at the moment he's a bit busy with his own video, so I decided, you know what, I don't want to bother him, so I'm just gonna do this by myself. Excuse my mic quality because I am working on with my phone because I'm poor. And if you hear some noises in the background, I also have to apologize too because I'm also doing my art homework at the moment, and it's just a lot, guys. But with that intro out of the way, let's get started. I kind of want to talk about my process doing the Goten Black Saga, and like in chapter 1. It's kind of like a basic, setup or a prologue of what's to happen. Goten is fighting Goku. He beats him up, and Goku realizes, oh shit, it's Goten. It's my son. But here's something that you guys probably didn't know. And somebody actually pointed this out in the comments. Originally, Goten's origin story was supposed to have Zamasu meeting him in his timeline and actually brainwashing him into thinking that nobody loves him. Gohan went out and, moved on with Videl, and no longer has time to visit him because, he has Pan. Goku is just, this neglectful father that doesn't even know who he is or, his interests, and pretty much everyone was just going to abandon him or leave him alone, and that was supposed to be the original idea to get him to the dark side. But I think this comment is still on chapter 1, but somebody pointed out, oh well, I hope that's not his origin. I hope that there's more depth into it, and I hope that it's more complicated than the whole, oh, he's jealous of everybody getting more attention than him. So I'm like, well, shit. Somebody just kind of figured it out. And not only did they figure it out, but they didn't want that to happen. And at first I'm like, you know what? It's just one guy's opinion. It doesn't matter. But then over time, he got a lot of likes. And I'm like, well, shit, I should probably change that because a lot of people are agreeing with this guy. So I took a while to think about, okay, what do I want Goten's new origin story to be? And funny enough, me and Joe were talking about this during this time as well, about the Tournament of Power and how, Goku just seemed pretty selfish during that time, and how he was just so unsympathetic. Oh, I can't speak English. I'm sorry, guys. During that time period too, and also Joe also made that ending with the whole Tournament of Power for my video. And so, I guess, all of those mixed together and, that perfect timing with the comment, I'm like, you know what? Why don't we just put that into the story? Why don't we just have that be Goten's story? And I remember, even, talking to Joe on Discord, and I'm like, hey, instead of, having Goten being jealous of everybody, why don't we just have him come from a universe where Goku lost the Tournament of Power and Jiren won, and that's the reason why, he becomes evil, because he realizes that, Goku wasn't the hero or the perfect father that he thought he was, and he was in fact selfish, and he's the reason why not only did his universe die, but everybody else died with him. Or the other universes, because it was I think 11 universes that died. Oh my god, someone's gonna comment and say no, you're wrong. It's this number of universes. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a while. I'm tired. So when Joe heard that, he was set forth. He actually was really excited about that too. So ever since like that, we decided, you know what, let's work on that. Let's like set this up. Let's start getting the foreshadowing. Let's start doing this. So that's pretty much what happened. So later on in chapter 2, we started to like, you know, insert like a few other Easter eggs to Umibuzu, which I'll talk about that later when we get to like chapter 5. I kind of want to talk about the process of Umibuzu because there's been like a few changes with that too. But in chapter 2, we just decided to like rewrite a little bit of what we wanted in Trunks' like timeline or like his part of the story. So I know it's kind of like the same, but like the big change that Joe and I really wanted to do for chapter 2 was to have Mai's sacrifice actually mean something, because like in the original Goku Black Saga, like Mai is like, you know, go, you have to save the world, go, you gotta go, and then like she tries to like charge Goku Black and she shoots him, and not only does Goku Black like kill her like a bitch, but like Trunks stays behind to like fight him off. So it's like, Mai, you got yourself like, you know, beaten up or like quote unquote killed for no reason. And it was just like a really, really stupid scene of her like, you know, flying in the air all dramatically. Like this was supposed to be like this really dramatic moment, but to be honest with you, when I saw that, I kind of like chuckled a bit when I saw that. And like, especially in the English dub, Trunks' voice actor, instead of just going, Mai, oh my god, he went, Mai. So it was like, wow. So we just decided for this arc, let's just kill her off. Mai in this version, well, like Mai even in the original Goku Black arc didn't really do much other than just to, you know, be there. Sometimes she'll help out, but like, it's Mai. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, I love Mai, but she doesn't really do much. Of course, like, you know, in fighting wise, she's just sort of there to get in the way or like sometimes like help out once in a while. So like that's what we changed for in this version with the Goku like Goten Black. We just decided to just let's just have him kill her off. Like she's not gonna come back, guys. Like nah. What else? Oh yeah, so I remember there was this one guy in the comments that said like, oh, like, why is their hands coming out of the portal? That was actually foreshadowing like Umibuzu or you know, like foreshadowing that the monster within Goten was coming out. So we decided to add that there because like in the original Goku Black story, he does like get sucked into the portal, but in this version I wanted to be a little bit more like, you know, demonic, or just have like a bit more like, you know, demons involved, which you'll see a little bit more with like, you know, Umibuzu and like Goten's mental shit. What's that word? Oh my god. The mental, guys, I'm sorry. You know what I mean, like mental block. You'll see that more later on in the story, but I just wanted to like have that be like, you know, foreshadowing of like, you know, the monster, just in case if somebody said like, oh well, you guys like, where's the monster? Like you guys didn't set it up. Well, nope, there it is. It's right there, chapter 2. And also like I think it was like Joe. Yeah, it was Joe that actually recommended me to like, you know, hey, you should age up Trunks and Mai, because I know like in the anime they are still kids, or like, you know, the animators still draw them as kids, but like they're supposed to be like, you know, 13 or 14, or they're supposed to be like the same age as, let's say, future Trunks was in like the history of Trunks. So he's like, you should just have them look like that age instead of like, you know, kid Trunks, or like how he looked in the original Goku Black Saga. And I'm like, you know what, you're right, like let's age them up. So yeah, like, later on you'll see, like, Goten be teenage-ish, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to draw him as a teenager because, like, he has that Goku hair, and I guess you can, like, tell because he'll be, like, a little taller. He won't be, like, the tiny size of him, but he is going to be, like, a teenager, or, like, 13, or whatever canic age he was in the Goku Black Saga. We do want to, like, age the characters as, we see fit. Alright, so I think, like, that's all I have for, like, chapter 2. There are some, like, Team 4-Star references. I remember somebody was asking me, hey, like, since you watch Team 4-Star, are you going to add some Team 4-Star references? There is a reference to Heat Tap and Lucky Foods in chapter 2, so, like, I want y'all to, like, maybe, like, go check it out. I don't know, maybe, like, in another video, a complete different video, I can, like, break down all the Easter eggs, or, like, the references that I put into my videos, or, like, maybe some potential foreshadowings. But I don't know, like, leave your opinion on the comments. I kind of like talking to y'all. It's fun. But, like, let's head on to chapter 3, which, alright, so I'll be honest with you guys. When I was making chapter 3, I went through, like, the biggest artist block I ever had. And, like, at that point, I was actually considering, to just give up on Goten Black. Like, I think at that point, my channel was only at, like, maybe, like, 50 subscribers, or, like, less than 50 subscribers, and chapter 1 and 2 only had, like, 300 subscribers, and it was not going up, like, for months. It was just at 300 views. I think I said subscribers. No, I'm sorry. It was just views, not 300. As you can see, like, perfect English, guys. Like, perfect English. But, okay, so, like I was saying, in chapter 3, I, had, like, this huge artist block, and I decided, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm not getting that much, views anyway, so, like, what's the point? So I just pretty much, like, buried my nose in work and, like, getting ready for college, and for a while, like, I didn't even, like, touch my tablet, or, like, even, like, thought about Goten Black until, like, and I don't know, like, what happened, but one day on YouTube, I was just, I decided, you know what, let's look at my old videos, or, like, let's check up on Goten Black, just to, like, see if it went up, and it went from 300 to, like, 500, and, suddenly I got comments saying, like, oh my god, this is so good, like, are you ever going to, like, make more, when's the next part, is chapter 3 coming, like, when is it coming, and, that actually got me motivated to get back on Goten Black, like, and, like, thank you guys to whoever did do that. You guys got me out of that artist block, and I'm like, you know what, let's finish it, let's keep going. So I finished it up, I threw it into YouTube, well, I sent it to Joe, and he, like, added the music, and he did the editing for me, because, like, thanks Joe, if you're, like, hearing this. He sent it out, and he put it on Premiere, and I remember, like, I was at work when, he put it on Premiere, and the first comment was just this letter that said, yes, and somebody else wrote, this is gonna be lit, and that gave me, like, that confidence boost that I needed. And when chapter 3 came out, a lot of people were like, oh my god, thank you so much for continuing this. We're so excited to see, like, what you're gonna do next. And it it did fill me with joy, I'll be honest. Like, I did not think that people were going to like this. I didn't think that people were going to, like, be this excited as I see nowadays. Like, before, I was just actually planning on giving up the project and just maybe once in a while help out Joe in some of his videos that he puts out. But if it wasn't for, like, you know, those few people that said, like, hey, we want more, where's the next chapter, I would have probably given up on this project. So whoever decided to start that, thank you for that. You guys mean a lot. But all right, enough of the sappy stuff. Let's get back to chapter 3, or like talking about chapter 3. There's not much to say about it. Like I said, this was like kind of like my least favorite chapter to work on, because it's just kind of like setting everything up. It was setting up, like, you know, Goten's origin story for the next chapter. It was setting up like Goku heading out to Zamasu. It was just setting up like Trunks going to the superbolic time chamber. The superbolic time chamber. Superlimic time chamber. And then Mr. Popo, that was on purpose. I'm sorry, doing 4-star shit. Yeah, I'm awkward, guys. This is me. I'm awkward. All right. When Trunks and Vegeta are gonna have like their, you know, training montage in the time chamber, and we're gonna have, like, you know, some fun, or like some, you know, our own interpretation on like what they're gonna do, or like our version of, like, you know, Trunks' Super Saiyan Rage, I think that's what it was called. But we're actually, in this version, going to explain how he's going to get it. Because, like, in the Goku Black Saga, it just came the fuck out of nowhere, and nobody even knew, like, what it was, or if it was, like, as strong as Super Saiyan Blue, or, like, we didn't know the power level. Like, god damn it, like, put a scouter on that thing. What is it? Like, how can suddenly Trunks be, like, you know, on par with Black and Zamasu when he had such a hard time before? So in you know, chapter 6, we are going to, like, have, like, our own explanation on how he got that, or, like, you know, why he has that. So that was pretty much it. I think the only thing that I really liked about chapter 3 was Vegeta's speech about, like, pretty much him saying, like, you know what, get the fuck up, like, I don't care about your whining boy, you're better than this. And we're going to sort of keep continuing to have Vegeta have that, like, him being, like, you know, Trunks' mentor, whereas Zamasu is, like, Goten's mentor. So that's pretty much chapter 3. Like I said, this was kind of like my least favorite chapter to work on. But other than that, let's head on to chapter 4. All right, so chapter 4 is so far like my favorite chapter out of this entire series, because, like, I was so excited on just getting to, like, the meat of the story, the origin of Goten Black, and how, like, he came from, like, a universe that was that, you know, oh my god, that was erased by Zeno because of Goku. So, like I said, originally, we did not plan for this to be his origin story. We were just, like, I think, if I remember correctly, I was planning on, like, having, like, maybe Chi-Chi becoming, like, a school teacher and leaving Goten alone, and maybe Goten trying to, like, visit everybody, and they all had, like, different activities that were going on, and they're like, you know what, Goten, we can't talk to you, what, you're so annoying, Goten, I have a girlfriend right now, you gotta be understanding. But, like, somebody said, like, don't do that, and thank God somebody didn't do that, because, like, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have had this amazing, like, time creating or, like, writing this, because it really was fun for me to, like, you know, get into, like, the grit or like the meatiness of this shit. So I think I mentioned it into like one of my community tabs, but one Easter egg that I like to point out was that if you look at Jiren's move when he defeats Goku in the Tournament of Power, it's the exact same move that Goten made in Chapter 1 when he did his Kamehameha. Like, that was kind of like, a cool little reference that I decided to put in. With Chapter 4, like, I decided, let's just have Zamasu just, like having this intention of like, let's say kidnapping Goten, but Goten show kindness, kind of like, stops Zamasu, and he like realizes, oh, well, maybe like mortals aren't as bad as I thought. Like maybe like, especially if this like kid that has nobody and is pretty much alone and is like outcasted in society, not outcasted in society, like kind of like outcast in his group of friends, can show me this level of kindness, this level of like, sort of like innocence and pure-heartedness, then maybe not all mortals are bad. Like maybe like I was wrong. So, and like there's this one scene that I'm kind of surprised that no one has pointed out or no one has talked about, but the scene where like Goten and Zamasu are just talking in the campfire. It's just the two of them, and Goten's just sort of like pouring his heart out, saying like, like I realize that I'm alone and I miss everybody, but I understand, like I get that my dad is trying to save the world and he's training because he wants to protect us. I really enjoyed writing that scene because like I felt, because I don't know if like Dragon Ball Super actually gave some time to give Goten some development or like give him something, because right now canon Goten's just kind of there, like he's just there, and he's just, you can pretty much like replace him with a cardboard cutout and nothing would happen. Like they literally replaced him with the Pilaf Gain in the actual Goku Black Saga and nothing happened. But I added that scene because, like, I feel like that's kind of like what Goten is at the moment. Or, like, it kind of suits him because, like, Goten never met Goku until he was, like, 7 years old until now. Like, really think about it. Like, this 7-year-old that has never met his dad, he suddenly comes back. But then when his father does come back, he's constantly leaving the house to go train, to go, fight a bad guy, or to go out into space for whatever reason, or just to like have an excuse to get stronger. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so how would a kid really like, process that? Like, how would he think about that? Because like, if you think about it, Goku and Goten don't really like know each other in a sense. Like Goku raised Gohan, or he was there for Gohan, but he wasn't really there for Goten because he was dead the entire time. So I thought, well, if Goku's constantly gone, or like how Super is like portraying him, that he doesn't like, working, or he doesn't like to go out and find a job, wouldn't Chi-Chi then have to get Goten to, help her out of the house? So I decided to put that into the story, and like Goten's kind of like, spilling all of this grief that he has, or all of this baggage he has, to Zamasu, who's like the only, or at least like in his mind, he thinks he can trust, or like, the closest ally he has at the moment. And Zamasu at the moment, I think in that instant, he realizes there's a lot more to mortals than I give them credit for. Like, if this like little kid can show this level of maturity, then maybe there's more to mortals than I gave them credit for. So But then, like, obviously, like, later on, shit goes wrong. Goku loses the Tournament of Power, and everything just turns to shit. So that, but also, like, that part right there, that was, like, my favorite part to draw or, like, to write. Like, I just went on an adrenaline high when I got to that part. Like, I was just writing. I was just constantly on my tablet. I couldn't even, like, do anything else. I had to, like, finish this because, like, I was so excited, like, you know, of doing this. Or, like, getting this out, and I could not wait to see, like, people's reaction on how, you know, this would be. Or, like, you know, the revelation that Goku kind of killed everybody because of, like, his naivete. And I know there's going to be, like, that one guy that's just like, oh, well, Goku, he actually saved the universe. Or, like, he wasn't selfish. He actually did. If it wasn't for him, like, you know, everyone would have been erased. You make a good point of that. But here's the thing. At least in the canons, at least, like, let me start over. Okay, so even if that was true, even if you could bring up the argument that Goku saved everybody, he still got, like, you know, a few universe erased. Like, those people are not coming back, or, like, those people are gonna be dead for a while. And that's what happened in, like, you know, my chapter. But not only that, but, like, in the anime, I'm just talking about the anime. I haven't seen the manga yet, or read the manga about it yet. And I hear that in the manga, it's not really his fault. It's more Zeno's fault. But in the anime, Goku is really unsympathetic about the Tournament of Power, or at least, like, the consequences of the Tournament of Power. He's kind of like, you know, oh, well, like, we'll just, you know, we'll just beat them and we'll win. Don't worry. Like, teamwork, the power of friendship. Like, we got this. And he wasn't really sympathetic to, like, everybody that was, like, you know, participating in the universe, because, like, he thought of it as a game, as, like, you know, a game. And even watching the Tournament of the Power, I was like, you know what? This is kind of, like, really messed up for Goku to, like, act like this. So I decided to, like, put it in the chapter, kind of like, you know, my own commentary of, like, you know, the Tournament of Power. But okay, so, like, but getting back to, like, you know, the Goten Black, chapter 4, the ending where, like, Goten, like, completely, like, breaks down, that's kind of like him, like, realizing he never cared. Or at least, like, in his interpretation, Goku never really cared about anybody but a fight. Or, like, he really didn't care. He just sacrificed everybody just for a good fight, and he couldn't even, like, finish that fight. And also in that moment, that's when Zamasu realizes, I was right. Like, I was right about mortals, because, like, if I just leave, like, one person, the wrong person alive, he can really do damage to this entire universe. Because, like, at least, like, in the Goku Black saga, Zamasu was kind of like, yeah, like, let's kill the mortals, but he was also like, you know, I want to preserve nature, or, like, I want to preserve, you know, the beauty of, like, what the world was. And so, like, with Zamasu's interpretation, he's like, you know what? I might be committing genocide, but I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it to protect nature, to, like, make sure, like, you know, it's going to thrive, or, like, there's a beautiful world that's going to grow up after this. Whereas, like, with Goku, or, like, how Zamasu sees, like, what Goku did, he saw Goku just completely wipe out an entire, not just one universe, but, like, multiple universes, and left nothing behind. It's just blackness. It's just, you know, nothing can grow back from that erasure. So he's like, you know what? We can't let this happen. Like, this one dude, we got to get rid of him. So, and then, like, that sets up the journey for it. And like, in the middle of making chapter 4, I decided, you know what? I kind of want to make a new ending. And that's why you see, like, you know, that new ending of, I think it's ending 10 of the English version, like Funimation dub. And I did put a link to that if anybody wants to hear the full, you know, version of it. But I really had fun. And when we did the live session, like, everyone liked it. Or at least, like, in the live chat, everyone had, like, a good time with it. And that meant so much to me. Like, I was, like, so excited and hyped for it. I was so happy that people were, like, commenting, saying, like, dude, this is amazing. Like, you did such a good job. And, like, I remember I even, like, went to Joe and I'm like, Joe, thank you so much for helping me out. You're amazing. You did, like, thank you. I was ecstatic. But then we get to chapter 5, and this is where, like, I got really, really nervous. If you guys haven't read the description for chapter 5, originally, Umibuzu wasn't actually supposed to exist. Originally, I was planning on having, like, Zamasu take Goten to where, like, a special part in hell where Janemba's old machine of, you know, the soul crusher, whatever that was, and it was going to be like this exposition where, like, you know, Janemba went through, like, this transformation. He was this demon, and now all, like, that dark souls just became a lake, and they just abandoned it. And that was supposed to be, like, the dark baptism that Goten went through. But the closer we got to that part, the more nervous I got. Like, the more nervous I was like, does this really make sense? Like, why? Like, and not only that, but, like, Janemba is, like, technically non-canon. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know if I want to do this anymore. Or if I want to, like, have it be Janemba anymore. And, but then, like, once again, like, out of coincidence, Masako X actually made a video about, like, you know, the creepiness or, like, the creatures of Dragon Ball. And then he got to Umibuzu. And he explained, like, you know, his origin and, like, how... I'll, like, link a description. I recommend you guys watch that, because it was a pretty good, like, you know, eye-opener or, like, inspiration for me. And I went to Joe and I'm like, hey, why don't we do this instead? At first, Joe didn't want that because he's like, well, the Dark Water Mist. No, not the Dark Water Mist. Fuck, guys. I'm sorry. The Ultra Divine Water, isn't supposed to make you evil. It's supposed to, like, it's just supposed to give you, like, a power boost. So, he just, like, recommend just keep Janemba. But, like I said, when I got to that point, I was kind of freaking out, because I was like, oh, shit, like, what if people make fun of me? Or, like, what if they're like, oh, well, this isn't non-canon, or, like, this is kind of, like, a little stupid, or, like, how did this happen? I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. So, I thought, what if, like, we just make Umibuzu his own thing? Like, what if we just make Umibuzu his own entity, or, like, the origin of how, like, you know, the Ultra Divine Water became. So when I told Joe this, he's like, fine, let's just do it, because I think he just realized that, you know, I was getting nervous about it. So he's like, let's just do it. So that happened, and at one point I was considering, why don't we, like, make Umibuzu talk? Like, he's like the the devil on Goten's shoulder, like whispering him, like, let's do this or let's do that. But at the same time, I thought that's kind of like a little cliche, or like that's kind of like easy to do when it comes to like, insanity. Just kind of having like that one like person constantly like whispering in your ear. And even Joe agreed. He's like, yeah, like, nah, like, let's not do that. Like, let's do something like different. Let's do something interesting with Umibuzu. So Umibuzu in the series is not going to talk like whatsoever. He's just going to like, the only thing like Umi's going to do is like maybe give Goten like visions, or like influence him to be more corrupt, or he's going to like corrupt Goten's soul, or his mentally he's going to corrupt him. But like so far, like with oh yeah, there's this one other thing that I want to mention. So when chapter 3 came out, a lot of people were like, oh my god, like I really like how Goten and Zamasu's relationship is. Like, they're so sweet, they're so like nice to each other. I like their father-son relationship. And then chapter 5 came in and it was like, they're not like that whatsoever. So I actually made a short recently, and it's called like Goten's Drawing, and I wanted to make like this really like complicated like Easter egg or foreshadowing of that. And if you look at Goten's drawing, it's a picture of Goten and Zamasu like together holding this red fish. And here's the kicker. The red fish is actually a red herring. Yeah, I'm sorry. So originally I wanted to have like, like the fans to guess like, oh, like what does the drawing mean, or like how is this foreshadowing the next episode? But no one even bothered to like, comment, or like nobody even bothered to like play the game. So I'm like, well, that was kind of a waste of time. But yeah, like later on with Zamasu's and Goten's relationship, it is complicated, or at least we're going to try to make it complicated. Like Zamasu does care about Goten. He does, like Goten, and he does like, in some ways, like, want to take care of him and, help him out. But there's a cost. Like, at the end of the day, Zamasu's plan, or like the plan to eradicate the mortals, comes first. Like, and whatever happens, it needs to be complete. Whatever protest, or like whatever, type of, what's the word? Protests, or like suggestions that Goten may have, are going to be ignored, because like at the end of the day, we have to finish the plan. But like Zamasu is going to have like, in a way, have some humanity. For at least Goten, he is going to still have like that small soft spot for Goten, as you saw in chapter 3. Like, he's in chapter 3, like Zamasu is like soft with Goten, but he will still have that control over Goten as well. Now with Goten's case, he's going to start losing his humanity, or we're going to see more like, what's really going inside Goten's mind, or like Goten's perspective of the matter, because it's not all black and white as maybe people assume. What else? Oh, so like that's so far like all the chapters that we've made so far. But I kind of want to like talk a little bit of like what might happen later on without giving spoilers. Okay. So I've gotten a few comments suggesting, oh, well, why don't you give Goten like a new transformation? Why don't you just drop Super Saiyan Rose altogether and just give him like this own brand unique transformation, like Super Saiyan God, or like, his Ultra Instinct, or like Ultra Ego, or something, or like, I I don't know, like just some random transformation, and I'm sorry, but no. Not to be mean, not to be like bitter or to be like, a bully, but I don't like that idea. Why? I have two main reasons as to why I want to keep Super Saiyan Rose. The first reason is not only is it canon to like, the Goku Black arc, but Goten is supposed to be a dark mirror to Goku. Like, someone pointed it out in chapter 4 that Goten is kind of like a dark parallel to future Trunks. That is true, but he's also a dark mirror to his own father. Both of them, as kids, got their powers awakened through water. Both of them love to fight. Both of them love training. Both of them have, like, this love for it. And in some regards, both of them are dangers to multiple timelines, whether like Goku realizes or Goten can't see it, but both of them are similar in so many ways that maybe they don't even want to admit it. So with Super Saiyan Rose, it's supposed to be like, that dark parallel to Super Saiyan Blue, so that's one of the reasons why I want to keep it. The other reason is because, like, and I can't even give credit to myself for this. I actually saw a post on it on Instagram, but somebody pointed out that now each Saiyan is kind of having their own unique transformation, whereas Goku's going on the path of Ultra Instinct, Vegeta now is going on the path of Ultra Ego, Gohan has his mystic form, and Future Trunks has Super Saiyan Rage. So, in my mind, I'm like, you know what, that's actually pretty interesting. Each Saiyan has their own, like, unique path. So, what if Goten's path is Super Saiyan Rose? And I do have, like, this version of Super Saiyan Rose that I want, like, it's not going to be like, too OP. I actually think if I make Goten too powerful or too, like, strong or too, what's the word? Pretty much like a Gary Sue, that would kind of ruin the story, or it wouldn't make it really uninteresting. So, but it is going to be, or at least like with my version of Super Saiyan Rose, it's going to tackle a bit more like mental, or like, the price to pay of getting this power. So that's what I'm going to like keep. But somebody did mention, like, what if you gave him like a Phoenix type of transformation, or like give him like the Phoenix King or like a Phoenix God type of thing. I don't really want to call him the Phoenix God, but I do remember in the original Goku Black saga, when Merge Samasu became a thing, he did make this, like, Phoenix type of attack. So maybe instead of like a Phoenix transformation, I can do like some sort of Phoenix type of attack for, Goten's Rose form. But other than that, I'm keeping Rose. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to be like really stubborn about it. But you can still, like, I don't know, suggest things or like, leave comments. I don't know. I do like talking to y'all about, like, where this story is going to. But at the end of the day, it's going to be like, Joe and my interpretation on Goten Black, or like how this story could go. So if some of your ideas aren't going to show up in the story, don't take it personally, please. It's not that we don't, like it. It's just, we just kind of like want to do our own thing, without too many like people like throwing their stuff in. We have like our own vision, and we don't want it to like get lost, if if, you guys understand that. Hopefully you do. But saying that, there is this other comment that, I actually really, really like the idea. And it's when, like, I think it's Logan Welling. Hi, Logan. If you're, like, watching this. Hey, Logan. He suggested that maybe Goku, before, like, the final battle, before the final climax, Goku somehow, like, talks to fortune teller Baba, and she shows him, the Goku, or I mean, like, Goten's past of, like, what happened in the Tournament of Power. Now, I'm thinking to myself, like, that could work because, like, in the Goku Black arc, Goku went to Master Roshi's to, like, learn the Mafuba. So, like, maybe in my story, like, when he goes to Master Roshi, like, fortune teller Baba's there visiting, and when he's, like, learning the Mafuba, like, fortune teller Baba can be, like, looking in her crystal, like, seeing, like, what's going on, like, why is Goku there, just to, like, because Goku's, like, busy training for the Mafuba to, like, save the day, and he has no time to, like, tell fortune teller Baba what's going on. And right before he, like, goes back to Bulma, fortune teller Baba's like, Goku, wait. You got to look. There's something there's something that I need to show you. And Goku's like, what? And he looks at the crystal. And then the chapter ends with, like, everybody, like, before they go to, the future, Goku walks in and his eyes are, like, completely vacant. And Bulma is like, what's wrong, Goku? And Goku just mutters, I killed everybody. And that's how, like, the chapter ends. Like, I really do like that idea. But Joe, on the other hand, isn't really on board with that idea yet. He's like, nah, let's not do that. I kind of want to, like, have Goku, I want Goku to, like, find out during, like, the climax. Like, maybe, like, Goten tells him, or, like, Zamasu tells him. And I'm like, I like that idea, too, because I also like the trope where, like, the hero is, like, fighting the villain, and the villain's like, oh, well, you did this. Really, you're the monster. And then, like, the hero's like, no, it's not true. I didn't mean it. And at the same time, like, I have this vision where, like, Goku's, like, kind of breaking down, and he realizes, shit, like, I did this to Goten during, like, fighting, and, like, maybe, like, the villains, or, like, Goten and Zamasu are, like, ganging up on him. But, like, that idea right there, I'm really split on. I guess we'll get there when we get there. Like, oh my god, it's gonna take a long time to get there, especially with the rate that I'm producing these chapters, which, like, thank you guys for your patience. I really appreciate it. I know, like, it can be, like, a pain to wait for, like, the next chapters. Like, I'm a fan of Team 4-Star and, like, Visipop, and they take months to sometimes bring out their content. And, like, I'm also that fan that's like, oh my god, when's the next episode coming? But if you guys at the moment, guys, I'm in college and tuition is insane. For each quarter, there's, like, 3 quarters a year that I'm taking. And each quarter is about $10,000 with scholarships and grants. And that's if I keep my grades up. As long as I keep a 3.0 GPA, it'll just be about $10,000 a quarter. And so I have to, like, find a way to raise that money to make sure that, I can somehow keep a job. I can somehow, like, get my grades up and do all these projects together. So, I know, like, it can be, like, a hassle, but, like, all I ask, guys, is just, just patience. It can be I know it's kind of annoying, but right now it's just, there's just a lot on my plate. At the moment, like, I'm also, like, in between jobs, or at least, like, I'm thinking of, finding a second job, so that way I can help pay my bills, because at the moment, like, they're not giving me enough hours for it at my current job, but I also need, like, more experience, and I'm also thinking of, like, getting an internship in the summer, so that way when I graduate, I can have, like, something on my resume. Like, at the moment, YouTube isn't paying me at all. I'm not at monetization, neither is Joe, it is true that once you hit, like, 1,000 subscribers, then you're eligible for monetization, but you also need to have, like, 4,000 hours of watch time. I think that's what it is, like, 4,000 hours of watch time. And so far, like, last time I checked, I was at, like, 2.5 or 2,500 hours of watch time yet. So even though, like, we're really close to 1,000 subscribers, we're, like, barely past the halfway point of watch time. So right now YouTube isn't really my priority. I'm still going to be, like, posting shorts, like, once in a while, so that way, like, y'all can get some content from me, but this isn't really, like, top of the list, if you know what I mean. Speaking of shorts, I'm actually planning on putting, like, a little bit more, lore to my shorts. Now, like I said earlier in the podcast, in Goten's drawing shorts, that's supposed to foreshadow, like, the red herring of Zamasu's and Goten's good father-son relationship. But also, like, did you notice that in the first short that I ever made, I think it's called, like, Goku versus Zamasu, like, Zamasu says that he has been raising Goten for 17 years. That's true in the actual story, so each short that I'm going to make, there's going to be, like, a little bit of sprinkle of canonicity in the story. Or there's going to be, like, some shorts that are just going to be, like, take place in the actual canon universe. But I couldn't, like, put it in because, like, I just wanted to get the chapter done, or, like, maybe it's just a deleted scene that I decided to just take out for whatever reason. But keep an eye out for those shorts, because there's maybe more to them than y'all think. And you know what? I think it would be, like, a really fun game to, like, have y'all play, where it's like, oh, like, what is she, like, trying to reference, or, like, what is she trying to, like, put in, or, like, am I missing something? Like, I have so many, like, ideas that I want, but, like, there's so little time, and like, I don't know, hopefully, like, when I graduate college, which is next year, I'll have more time to, like, spend on Goten Black, or, like, have, more time to, like, like, concentrate on this, because, like, I am having fun with it, and I am, like, enjoying this so far, but it's not my top priority. Like, my top priority is to get money so I can pay for college, and also to get my degree. But I do appreciate you guys, and honestly, like, keep talking on the comments. Like, I do enjoy, like, reading y'all's support, and, like, seeing, like, y'all's suggestions. Like, even if, like, let's say I won't put some of your ideas in the canon universe, I may make a short about it, or I may give you a shout out. I'm actually, I don't know, maybe when I hit, like, 1K, or maybe even 2K, I can, like, I was thinking of maybe making, like, this video about, like, you know, thanking the fans, like, hey, thank you so much for, like, giving me this idea, or, like, thank you so much for, like, you know, showing me this, or, like, advice, or, like, you know, giving me notes for this, because, like, I do appreciate it, and I do really, like, love having fun with y'all. So just keep on, like, you know, commenting if you guys want any suggestions or any, like, short ideas. Just leave them in the comments. Thanks for listening to my first ever podcast. If you guys want to see something else or something similar to this, maybe even with Joe, just let me know. And I'll see if maybe, like, next time he'll join in. Oh my god, I must have said, like, thank you 5 times now, but this is going to be my 6th time thanking y'all, and have a great day.